I need that neckline slimmer thing. Hello, America. We've got kind of a special hour. I found a long time ago that the only people that will really tell you the truth on what could happen, and the only people that really know, are fiction authors. They have to know what's really going on, so then they can weave a story in that is believable. They'll also tell you the truth. They have nothing to gain. One of my favorite fiction authors is here, and we're going to spend an hour with him. And I promise you, I think you're going to learn things here, and you're going to hear truths that you don't hear very often. Most days, I think our main worry is just, how's your job? You got your job still? The economy, the giant debt that we are saddling onto our grandkids. The simple things like the Marxists that happen to be around the White House, the massive corruption with the people in Washington that are supposed to be representing us, especially when times are this tough as they are now. Now is not the time to take our eyes off of national security. I have several friends that are in special forces, and they have taught me history that we know being on the other side of the coin. Our country in the past has infiltrated our enemy's borders, sowing the seeds of discontent. There comes a time in every nation's history when it is about to tip over. We have sent our operatives in to push, as Cass Sunstein says, nudge them a little bit. Don't you think our enemies are maybe doing the same thing? Do we have people within our own borders right now nudging us? At the same time, Iran gets closer to building a nuclear weapon, threatening our once dear ally, Israel. Of course, do we have any allies anymore, at least the traditional allies? We've thrown Israel under the bus. We've thrown England under the bus. China, which owns a ton of our debt, grows stronger every single day. They're making it clear that their success or failure is not tied to our dollar, as we would like to think it is. In fact, they've been warning us. In fact, just this week, they came out and said, hey, you might want to reconsider that whole health care thing. It seems pretty pricey to us. That's like your banker calling you up and saying, I don't know if you can afford that house. Terrorism, Fort Hood. Yeah, I'm one of the guys who will actually call it what it is. It's still a huge threat. What kind of message are we sending when we try Khalid Sheikh Mohammed right here in New York City instead of trying him in a criminal court and then executing him? Let me ask you this. How does it make any sense when this city, New York, is about to collapse under its own financial weight? What is it going to cost to keep this island safe with that trial going on just a few blocks away from the World Trade Center was? Meanwhile, we owe our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor to those who keep us safe, the heroes, not the bureaucrats. The bureaucrats are raking those heroes over the coals. Why is that happening? It feels like we have lost our way as a nation. Where are we headed? Is our national security strategy, do we even have one now? And what can we do to turn things around? Vince Flynn is the author of Pursuit of Honor. Vince, how are you?
Good.
Or Vinny. I got to call you. I know your mother calls you Vinny, so I think
anybody who knew me growing up.
Yeah. Okay. Vinny. So Vince, first of all, let me explain why I have you on. Tell me a little bit about your novels and how you do research on your novels.
I have a lot of contacts in Washington, D.C., a lot of them retired because they're the ones who talk more. Mm-hmm. And I get inside with them. I talk about...
When you say Washington, D.C., wouldn't you say that it's more accurate to say Langley, Virginia?
Langley, Virginia, Bethesda, Maryland,
sure,
areas
okay.
outside of Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. Those are the people that talk. And what happened early on when I started writing these, it was not easy to get people to talk to me, but my books follow somewhat of a formula, and it's something I believe in, which is that the men and women who serve us at the CIA and the FBI, Secret Service, and in the military, they're the real heroes.
Yeah.
They don't get paid a lot of money. They're not in it for fame or fortune.
Right.
And then the villains are the terrorists, and the secondary villains are politicians, self-serving politicians.
Right.
And I do have some good politicians from both parties in the book, but typically they are the ones running interference and making it difficult for these people to protect us.
Okay.
And so now they open up to me, and I get phone calls. Sometimes I don't want to name names, but I get a lot of phone calls, foreign heads of state, intelligence agencies, not the current president, the previous president, and the president before that. A lot of access into areas that really kind of blows me away sometimes.
And you're not doing it because you're not telling state secrets. What you're doing is you're trying to understand how the system works, what we really do, so then you can create a fiction book that is believable. It's like Tom Clancy.
Yes.
They used to think he was a CIA plant.
But in fact, I actually will not put things in the books. I've gotten to, there's a couple of things I've unearthed lately, going back, let's say 4 years, that I think is so explosive and so ingenious on our part that I don't want to put it in the book because I don't want to tip our hand to the enemy.
The New York Times right now is going, please tell us what it is so we can run it on the front page of the paper. All right, so just so people understood why I was having a fiction author on.
Yeah.
I can't get people in Washington to tell the truth. I can't get people to come up, you know, they'll say to me in the hallway, I'll see them here at Fox or, you know, wherever, and they'll say, you're exactly right.
Yep.
I put them on the air, and they're like, well, that's crazy talk. I mean, because they don't want to be associated with dangerous kind of what they perceive as dangerous talk, what I just refer to as frank talk.
Well, you know what? O'Reilly said this to me once years ago when Hollywood wouldn't make any of my books into a movie. Now it finally looks like it might happen. And Bill said, they won't make your books into a movie because they want to be invited to the right cocktail parties. And there's something to be said, especially in this town. A lot of people miss in Washington. They don't want to be. They want to be on the inside. They want to get invited to all the right stuff, and they want to be thought of as an enlightened, compassionate, caring person.
Yeah, I don't really care. I don't really
do care. But you care about the truth.
Yeah, that's all I care about.
You don't care about party politics and all the other stuff.
Yeah, you want to care about compassion and doing the right thing. You got to know what the right thing is, and the only way you do it is if you talk the truth. Okay, I can't figure out this Khalid Sheikh Mohammed thing. It makes no sense. Help me out on this. Economically, it will just devastate the city of New York, trying to keep this island safe as we are trying the Harry Back guy.
Yeah.
So it makes no sense economically. You're going to re-traumatize all those people who live and work by the World Trade Center. You're going to have these dirtbags right a block or two away from where the World Trade Center still hasn't been rebuilt. Yeah. And you're going to re-traumatize all of those people. And the other thing that just fascinates me is the president is still having military tribunals. He hasn't stopped those. So what the heck is really going on here?
I've heard a lot of people talking this week about why we're doing it, and we've already, we tried the guys from 93, and we tried Zachariah Moussaoui. There's a huge difference. Those guys were arrested here in America. Yeah. And I still think there's a case for them to be treated or be tried before a military tribunal, like we did with the Nazi spies who landed on Long Island during World War II. My long-term worry here is that this is a play by Eric Holder to go after the CIA and embarrass them. And
he's
possibly,
not a good guy.
This is the guy that pardoned Rich, who was one of the biggest expatriates in the history of this country, who was doing business with Iran while we had hostages over there. He fled to Switzerland with hundreds of millions of dollars and bribed his way into a pardon in the closing hours of the Clinton administration that Eric Holder shepherded. But the thing that really worries me is most Americans don't understand that New York has carried a disproportionate amount of this burden psychologically, this war on terror, because of that crater that is still there. So maybe there's some other areas that could help out right now. If we're going to go the federal court route, I think there's a solution here, and we should take some of the stimulus money, and we should go to the field up in Pennsylvania where the plane went down. And we should build a museum up there. Started out as a courthouse. Real bare bones, Amish-style courthouse. Bring in 3 federal judges. Try them up there in the middle of that field. And when they're done with the trial, you can go ahead and turn it into a museum. Here's the other thing they should
Wait. Do we execute them there?
But no. That's the one. That's the good idea that I think we can actually do. Here's the other good idea that we'll never do, Glenn. Yeah. Which is simply this. You bring them up there before you get all the lawyers involved. You sit them down in front of the judges, and you say, we hear that you would like, you've pled guilty, and you would like to be executed. And they'll say, yeah. Hopefully they'll say, yeah, we pled guilty, and we want to be executed as they did down in Guantanamo. Then you give them 2 choices. All right? Option A, you go into the federal system where we're not going to treat you. We're going to mix you in with the general population. Option 2 is we go up to New York. We find the tallest building that is slated for demolition. We put you guys on the top floor. We bring in about 20,000 gallons of jet fuel, and we light the candle. You guys can then choose how you want to murder yourselves. Are you going to burn to death and die of smoke inhalation, or are you going to jump to your death? Your choice.
are you a Saudi citizen? Because that's the kind of stuff they do in Saudi courts.
Well, you know what?
And, well, you don't have people blowing up buildings in Saudi Arabia.
No, but